Hello everyone. So today we are going to work on how to dynamically pull controls. That means the input mappings that we have assigned in the currently used input mapping context within the game into our UI. So here these are the only inputs that I have used and registered with the enhanced input system in our game, and they are dynamically pulled from the enhanced input user settings and displayed in the UI. So here let me show you. This is the demo input mapping that we have created. So I'm going to show you how to enable enhanced input user settings and how to create mappable or player mappable key settings and how to get that data through code, through blueprints into our menu system and display them in the controls option. So before we get started, let me remind you that you can download the project files of this project and all other thousands of projects we have done in my channel from the Patreon page. From my Patreon page, once you become a member, you can access everything without any limits. And here is the full playlist of this series. Everything is explained and implemented from scratch. You can follow these episodes and implement everything by yourself. So yeah, feel free to check it out. I'll leave you the links to everything in description below. Alright, so this is what you have as of now. If you go to the controls, you see you have these keys, but these are coming from a hard-coded array. These are not dynamically pulled from currently registered input mapping context in the game. So that's what we are going to implement today. Dynamically getting a list of inputs that we have added to the game. Okay, so to do that, first thing you want to do is, now this is not relevant to the plugin, you should enable this in the project itself. So if you are planning to use this menu system plugin in your project, you need to go to project settings and enhanced input. Here enable user settings for enhanced input. You don't need to change any of these other options under here, just enable in a user settings. That's all. Here now, if I go to my widgets and controls options, here let me show you the way currently it is working. Under initialize options, here I have this input mapping, which is a hard-coded array. This is only for testing the menu page, but we need to dynamically get this from our system. So the way to get those input mappings are like this. Here we can get enhanced input local player subsystem, and from this we can get enhanced input user settings, and here we can access get active key profile, and from this we can get player mapping rows. This now here, just to demonstrate, let's run a for each loop and just print this and connect it like this, and here print not the key, this. So now here I'll add a debug point so we can debug and see what's going on here. If I play and go to settings and controls, why did the debug point didn't hit? Let me add the debug point here. Play again. Yeah, now it hits. So here actually we didn't reach this point because we don't have anything here, because we at the moment we don't have any inputs set up and registered in our level. So this is not something you would have to do within the plugin itself, but for demonstration purposes I set up a demo player controller which registers a demo input mapping context, so that you will understand how to do it in your project. All right, now on the blueprint game mode, let's create a new player controller. EC, what should I call it? CLM menu. So here we need to register an input mapping context, but we don't have anything within our plugin. So let's create one. First, let me create a folder for inputs. Should I call it import? Yeah. And then under input, I'll create input action IA move, and this move should be an axis 2D because it's movement, of course. And then I'll add one more thing. Let's call it IA jump. So this is the digital ball because we're just pressing it once and that's a jump. It's not an axis. Now I'll create an input mapping context IMC demo. Now here, let me open it and add a mapping. First thing, I'll add this one, the move here, and I'll add W, and usually W is only applied for forward direction. So I'll add the modifier sizzle input axis values. This is how you usually set up W for move forward. I'm not gonna explain that because that's out of the scope of this tutorial. Now S should also be in the same way. Maybe we can copy paste, but this should be S instead. And also we would need another modifier to negate this, so this will be backward instead of forward. In the same way I'll add S and E as well. Okay, so these are the settings, and for mapping I'll add the jump as well that I have here, and I'll assign space. Now still, if I play, oh wait, no, we need to register this input mapping context first to see any effect. So let's do that. Here in the begin play, I can get enhanced input local player subsystem, get enhanced input user settings, and we can, let's have a variable input mapping context. I'll call it demo IMC or IMC demo, and I'll assign this IMC demo which we created within our plugin, and we can check is mapping context registered, because I guess we would need to avoid registering this twice. I don't know what happens if we register twice, but I have seen people doing that, so I'm gonna do that. Should be a good thing. No harm doing it. So if it is false, that means we need to register this. So register input mapping context. And yeah, now we have an input mapping context registered. Still, did I assign this to our game mode? We didn't. Game modes, PC, CLM menu. Let me apply that. Okay. Now still, we wouldn't see anything here. This is 0. So we are jumping here because we don't have anything here. That's because even though now we have a mapping context registered, we don't have any mappable settings, player mappable settings. That's what they are called. So here, let me start with this jump, and under settings behavior, under setting behavior, we can do it here actually. If I override and player mappable key settings, select this, now this becomes an expandable section. So here you can give a name, move forward. I'll use both name and display name like this, and category movement. For S also choose override settings. The reason that we are using override is because we can define it here as well, like this, player mappable input key settings. So I'll define it here for the jump. This also works, but the reason I'm doing it here is because we have multiple inputs, W, S, A, D, because this is an axis, so it has multiple keys associated with this input. So we need to do it this way, but for jump it's just one key. So I might do it here. Jump. This is also a movement. Guess so. Yeah, movement. Now here, let me finish this. S is for move left, no, move backward. Oh, that should be the name and display name. Movement, and A is to move right. Sorry, A is to move left. And A is to move right. Okay. Now, if I play, see, now it jumps to this. That means we have values here. 5 values. Move forward, move backward, left, right, jump. Nice. So we have values. So now what we need to do is changing this into this array so that we can show it within here. But how do we do that? Maybe instead of doing it here, we created this. Let me show you this user settings subsystem. Maybe we should do that here. So let's add a function. get input mappings, and let me cut this entire part from here. Let me reconnect it temporarily and paste it here. Now let's say we need to return a data structure similar to this, which is a name and a key mapping. So let's do that. Input mappings. Can I copy this? I guess. And let's add it, paste it as a local variable. Oh, it was added as a global one. So let me delete that. Mappings. Name. And then convert this to a map. And the other one is key. Sorry. The second one should be the key. Alright, now here, if I break this, we get a set of key mappings because there can be multiple key mappings. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get the first one. Get item by index and get the first one. This is a key mapping structure. If I break this is what I get. Mapping name. Alright, so let's get the mappings, this local variable, and add using this map key. And the key is this. I'll choose the current key. And at the end, let's return these mappings. Key mappings. Okay. All right. So this is we have a problem here because this is this subsystem is a game instance subsystem. So this local player subsystem may not exist here. Oh, actually, let's try this. Get local player. No, get player controller. Right, I guess we can't do this after all here. That's fine. Then let's copy this function. I should have thought about that before, but yeah, it's fine. Let me copy this function and move it over to controls options. Okay, so that's no errors. And let me delete this from here. All right, now we have this here, but I think maybe we don't need to return anything here. So let me remove that. And instead of get, I'll call update input mappings. Okay. And then if mappings, can I check the length? Yeah. Length is larger than 0. Should we do this? Really? Let me return it. Now get mappings, get input mappings. Wait, oh, we can't call it here too. And set. Right, all good, but we might not see anything here now. Yeah, that's fine, but still we should see those things in the runtime. Let's check. Yeah, see, move forward, move backward, left, right, jump. So these are dynamically pulled from this input mapping context we created and registered with the player enhanced input system. One thing, if we still want to see this in the editor time, we can still do this check other than 0. This is just to make it so that we would see something even in the editor if we are not in the runtime. Compile, see, we see something. So these are actually, oh, it's same. That's only because I have this same array. If you don't trust me, let me remove and keep only 2. Now here in the editor we only see these 2, but if I play we should see all of them. See? So it's dynamically pulled out, so it's working. Nice. Okay, that's one step. So the next step would be how to actually reassign the keys, but I don't think we can do it today. We should do it today, so let's look into those things in upcoming episodes. And thanks for watching. As always, updated project files will be available for download here in the Patreon page. Link would be in the description below. And do let me know if you have any questions in the comments. See you in the next episode. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye.